This is the How'd You Do It podcast, and I'm your host, Lyle Wilkes. I believe that people have more to offer and knowledge to share than they ever give themselves credit for. So with that, my goal is to deep dive into the success stories of business owners, entrepreneurs, and community icons so they can share the road they traveled and what they learned along the way. Welcome to episode 7 of the How'd You Do It podcast. And on this episode, I had the pleasure of meeting Angela Allen with the Greater Montgomery Home Builders Association. Angela was interesting with her story in the aspect that she had her entire life planned out, and through some twists and turns, another door and opportunity opened up, and she jumped right in. She is now executive officer of the Home Builders Association, which I think is incredible. We talk about what the Home Builders Association actually is and what it does for the builders in the area, but not only that, the community. They give back in a big way. I enjoyed it, and I know you guys will too. Right? All right, Angela, I'm just really grateful to have you on. A friend of ours connected us.
Yeah.
So it's to me, it's fun and exciting that someone I haven't met yet, we were just introduced on the podcast, but I think it's going to be great. Greater Montgomery Home Builders Association. Mm-hmm. That's what you do.
Yes.
And so did you want to do that right out of high school? You're like, yes, I want to be in the Home Builders Association.
I didn't know what the Home Builders Association was.
Yeah. So how'd you get your start?
So after high school, didn't know what I wanted to do. I ended up going to court reporting school. I'd heard, I knew somebody who was a court reporter, kind of picked her brain a little bit, and she was like, hey, if you really get out, hustle, you could be done in 2 years and be working. I worked at a law firm at the time, so I just got in court reporting school. I worked there, and I thought I'll use these connections, and I'm going to be a court reporter, and that was just not God's plan for my life. So I had 2 kids very early while I was in school. So I ended up having to quit school just because it was I was burning the candle at both ends, trying to work full time and go to school. So I stopped going to school, sold all my equipment, and knew I had to find a full-time job, and the Home Builders Association was hiring. So
I got you. So what was your first role with the Home Builders Association?
Yeah, so when I first started working there, I was the administrative assistant. I answered the phones. I handled, opening the mail, doing deposits, just really, just day-to-day tasks, nothing super important.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I loved it. As soon as I started working there, it was just a whole different world.
What did you like so much about it? What was so intriguing about the home?
Well, I guess because, first of all, I had 2 babies at home, and I was, a single mom, so I didn't get out much, and this just opened me up to all these different people and all these different companies, and we had a lot of networking meetings, so I got to meet all these different people from all different backgrounds. And they were just great people. They were good to me. So, I was young, and I feel like they, kind of grew up there, and they kind of helped raise me. But
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So how long did you do that role? And what year was this, by the way?
03.
03? So
yeah.
03 is when you entered the home builders.
Yeah, I think I was like 22 or 23 when I started working there.
Yeah.
So I was in that role, and, the association, you may have a job there, but you wear many hats. I mean, you do a lot of different things, and I knew I could do more there, and it was just, I just kind of just dove in and started doing a lot more outside of the scope of work that I was really hired to do. And so after a few years, I was promoted to membership director. So I started kind of handling new members and trying to work on things like that, and then got into event planning and that sort of thing.
Have you always been kind of a go-getter and wanted to strive for more? Because it seemed like you had a plan very, very early on. Mm-hmm. Like, this is what you're going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. Head down. Have you always been like that?
I feel like I've always been that way. I've been a self-starter, problem solver.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now you're doing networking events and maybe recruiting to the Home Builders Association?
Yeah. So just kind of getting into that part of it. And then let's see, about 8 years ago, yeah, it was 8 or 9 years ago, the executive officer position opened up, and you know, I just started. Well, we didn't have an executive officer at that time, and they were looking for someone. So really, there was a lot more on my plate, and I started taking on a lot more. And then I started thinking, hey, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
They put me in there in an interim position, and just the more that I thought about it, I was like, I think I can do this. I think I can handle this role.
What is
So.
that role? What is that?
Just managing the day-to-day activities in the
Okay.
association, following our budget, working, putting together a budget for the year, just everything that goes into the association. I'm one of 4 employees there, so just working with them, just a
Okay.
little bit of everything.
And speaking of the association, what
Mhm.
does like the Greater Montgomery Home Builders Association? What is their role? What's their objective? What are they trying to accomplish?
So the association was founded in, I think, 1950 by just a small group of builders, and we want to promote professionalism in the industry, in the residential specifically, residential side of that. But we want to be the go-to association for people who are looking for contractors. We want to help you find reputable contractors in the area, and we want to help our members to grow their businesses.
Yeah, I like so. How do you help them do that?
Well, we do it in a lot of ways. We have networking opportunities for our members, which you and I talked about a little bit earlier, which is crucial to your
Yeah.
company. I think to get out there, to meet people, to network, because you want to do business with people that you know, that you're friends with, that you're comfortable with. So we have networking. We have our governmental affairs and advocacy programs that we do. We're out there fighting legislation and regulations that are going to hurt our members. So we want to be out there on the front lines trying to make sure that we do everything that we can to support our
And
members and
so
their
with that,
businesses.
so like if trying to think of a good example of that. So I'm a builder,
Hmm.
right? And I want to do a new development and out in East Montgomery somewhere where it's like all the other builders want to do.
Right.
And so I come up to just a stone wall.
Hmm.
You guys are on my side as far as being
Absolutely.
able to go in there. Yeah.
We want our members to call us and say, hey, we're having problems with this. And, we take that on and we fight with you
Yeah.
as much as we can. So, and we work on a local, state, and national level on
Yeah.
these things. So,
Okay, awesome. So with that, like you got the networking events and I also think that like just associations in general are taken too lightly, right? Because you brought in like the relationship side of things,
mhm.
And networking and it is so important. What are some of the events that you guys do?
Well, we have educational events. We in August we're bringing in an economist, and I think that everybody always loves to hear from them, and then
Yeah.
they talk about our market specifically. So I feel like we're doing a good job of educating our members. We do a good mix of everything.
Yeah.
We have golf tournaments, sporting events. There's a little bit of everything for you to get plugged into. Just last week, we had a networking event at a new member's. Well, actually, he's not a new member. This company is a new member, but he's been a member for a long time. It was a great time. I mean, I
Oh
think
yeah, Froggy
everybody.
Bottom. Yeah, that's what we were talking
I bet
about.
we had 100 people there, and it was just good conversation all night. It was really good.
I meant to go. I wanted to go, but I was busy writing contracts. So I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome. Do you help? So like when I guess you help kind of promote the businesses too from the association side.
Yes, absolutely. We want to do as much as we can to promote all of our members. So it really you have to, when people join our association, it's always, a lot of people join and then 6 months later they say, I think I'm going to get out of it. I'm really not getting anything out of my membership. And my question to them is, so what have you done with your membership? Have you taken an active role? Because you can't just join an association and sit back and think, okay, I'm a member. They're going to do everything and my company's going to benefit from that. And there are some things that you can benefit from by not being involved at all, but you're definitely not going to get your money's worth if you're not out there working that membership and really taking an active role.
Yeah, I think just any type of association or group you're involved in, if you're not making an active role, you're not going to get anything. It's a giver's gain. It's the, like, I mean, you have to give, you have to build that trust. People have to know, like, and trust you before they're going to do
That's
business
right.
with you. And the only way to do that is face to face, belly to belly, shaking hands. Like they
Right.
have to get to know you. They have to know your personality, what you do, how you do it, what makes you different. And but I can relate to that because I'm a part of several different groups, and people come to me after a short time of being there, and they're like, well, I'm not getting anything in return. I'm like, well, how long have you done this, and how much time, energy, and effort have you put in? Because if they don't know you, they're not going to use you. So
Right.
I can relate to that a lot.
And I really do. We try to get to know our members and find out why they're a member and what they want out of their membership. I mean, it may be that that they're just looking for education. It may be that they're looking to grow their business, and if they are trying to grow their business, then they definitely need to be out there networking their business.
Yeah.
I always use, like Ashley Williams as an example.
Yeah.
She's great. She comes to just about everything that we do. If she can't be there, she's got employees there.
Yeah.
There's always a presence. So I think that there are a lot of people, a lot of builders out there that even if she doesn't have their business right now, if there's ever a time that they're looking to make a change, then she's going to be there, and they're going to consider her because they know her.
Yeah.
So
and I think a lot of people, and I don't know what's going on just in general, but with a lot of, or I see this trend happen a lot, I'll put it that way, this short-term mindset, right? It's just like that instant gratification, like it should just happen. And it's like, no, things take months, years
They
to
do.
get, I mean, like, I'm always, with my business and my company, it's always a long-term thinking. It's always a 3 to 5 year plan. Like, 'cause so many things can happen in a year to even 2 years. That's really short-term.
Yeah.
But what you can accomplish in 3 to 5 years, just showing up to the meetings every day and being in front of people, that's what matters. That's some real game-changing things. So, but with the networking and things like that, let me take that back for a second. With the association, do you have to be a builder to join the association?
No, you don't have to be a builder. We have two types of membership. So we have our builders, and that could be just anyone who holds a builder's license, a builder or remodeler. And then we have what we call an associate member, and that's anyone else in the industry. So that could be a framer, a plumber, electrician, but it could be as broad as a banker, a mortgage banker. Just anyone who has any ties to the industry at all can benefit by being a member of the association.
What's the ratio? Is it primarily builders, or there's a lot?
No, it's primarily associate members.
Oh,
So we
okay.
probably have around 700 member companies.
Oh, wow.
But if you're a member company, all the employees for that company have access
Okay.
to that membership. But I would say 70% of our members are associate members.
Okay.
So
So I guess that's all the way down. Anyone that has anything to do with the construction side,
anything at all.
me
Yeah.
being a real estate guy, like I could join and we'll work together. I could be an affiliate. So yeah, because that's like doors, blinds, tile, all that type of stuff. That's got to be helpful though. Like having all of like the suppliers, like from start to finish, everyone under one roof, kind of collaborating. And I guess with that, like, is there a lot of collaboration within the association?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I would say so. But just in saying that, so we get calls every day from the general public as well, and they want to know, they're looking for a painter or they're looking for this. And we want to be that resource for them, that we can give them reputable people that they can call that are going to come out and do a good job. So
I got it. So you just kind of have a running list of the members on there. Okay.
yeah, we have them listed by business classification. So if you call me and you need a plumber, I'm going to send you that full list of members that we have that do those jobs specifically.
Awesome. So you've been, I guess how long have you been part of the association?
Going on 21 years, I guess.
21 years? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you've seen the ups and downs of the market.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I ask everyone that's been around that long, what was your experience of like the last recession, housing crisis? What was that like?
Well, so let me just go back. So when I started working at the association, that was in 2003 things were great. Things were phenomenal. Yeah. We had probably double the membership that we have now.
Wow.
So when the market crashed, then, it was like, whoa, we got to make some adjustments here. We've got to figure some things out. So that kind of gave me a good idea of when things can go from really good to really bad, and just kind of navigating that. So just this past time, we've been through situations like this before.
Yeah.
So it's definitely still unique, and everything is different.
Yeah.
But at least we still had some of the tools that we've used before to try kind of navigate through some of those things.
That's an interesting fact that you said about half of the half the members you have now versus 03.
Yes.
Yeah. And so the biggest reason just so many builders got burnt, or just.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people just couldn't make it through.
Yeah.
It just, and not just builders, just a lot of small businesses didn't make it through that recession.
Yeah. The ones that stuck around, or you feel like they're flourishing now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I figured as much. Yeah, so a lot of people, the people that that seems to be a common trend with like a lot of successful, regardless of the industry, the ones that make it through the hard times. Once they come back out, like their market share triples, quadruples compared to what it was before, because they're the only one there. They're the ones that stuck through. So yeah. So what's some recent challenges with you? Because a lot of things have changed. Like home prices have gone up. Interest rates have been high. They're coming down some. But what are some things that y'all are navigating right now?
Well, really, I think our biggest challenges right now is staying relevant as an association, and because just things are ever changing. So, people have to decide where they want to spend their money and what they want to be a part of. And there are so many, you've got your chamber membership, your realtors association, and we want to make sure that we're staying relevant so that we can keep our members, because I definitely know that our association is beneficial. I completely believe in it. I've seen it work. I know that it can. So just working with our group and trying to come up with ways to
So staying relevant, just the value add there, right?
Absolutely.
And so what are like go into that a little bit deeper? Like what are the true challenges that you feel like you're not relevant anymore? Is it what has changed?
Well, you just have different generations of people, and what has always worked, you start seeing, this is not working anymore, and it always has. So now I have to shift. It could be that we're having lunch meetings, and then people stop coming. We've got 700 members. We've got 30 people at this lunch. Well, this is obviously not working. So we've got to, we've got to change here. So we just try a lot of different things. We try to talk to a lot of our members, figure out what it is that they want so we can provide that for them. And that's not always easy.
No, it's not. And it's hard to get the real honest feedback too.
It is.
Right? Because I can definitely relate to, as far as like breakfast meetings or lunch meetings or after hour meetings or whatever it is, it's just like, it doesn't seem to matter. Like in my business, like it's like, well, is it this day not good, for our office meetings, or I need to move a day or what have you? I think too, like people just get busy.
They do.
Yeah.
And it seems like, like the older generation, they always wanted to have after hours, have some drinks, hang out, and that's what worked.
Yeah.
And then you see a lot of this younger generation, they're starting young families, their children have sports, they're busy.
Yeah.
And they don't have time to come, or, they don't make the time to come. So it's just, trying to navigate those things and trying to make sure that you've got a little something for everybody to take from it.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of generation, what's the average age group of like builders now?
I would say 50.
Yeah, 50 is 45, 55, somewhere around that range.
But we're very fortunate in the river region. We've got a good mix of people.
Yeah.
And I just look statewide and even nationally, that we're very fortunate that we have a lot of young people on our board, in leadership, and just working in our area. It's really funny. So when I started working at the association, I would work with people, and they had children coming up, and now I'm seeing some of those people running
Oh,
companies,
that's
and
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty neat.
yeah, full circle. The reason I asked the age question too is because like I flip and invest and have some properties and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And most of the contractors are, are towards the end of their career.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest complaints that I have seen or heard is that they can't get anybody. No one's willing to come into the industry. There's not
Yeah.
enough new people coming in, and that's what I see is you've got all these people who've been doing it for the past 20 years. Well, you can't keep nailing up Trent at 65 years old. It's just
Right.
not possible. They still have a ton of knowledge, but they don't have anyone to give that knowledge and insight to because there's not enough people entering the industry.
Right.
And so are you guys seeing that trend as well? Or just, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it is scary to go out there and look on job sites and see, the average age of the people that are out there working, and there's nothing behind them.
Yeah.
So we're really doing a lot at the association right now to support those workforce development initiatives, and really just getting in front of students, and then letting them know that there are viable lucrative career paths in
Yes.
construction, and that there are so many different things that you can do in our industry. For instance, so we've been doing construction field trips. So I think last year we had I can't remember, maybe 300 students come through, and what we do is we take them out to a neighborhood. We get a couple of our members to come in and talk to them and basically just give their testimony, just tell them, what they've done to get into the industry and the type of money that they can make, and just tell them a little bit more about their field. So they get to hear some of that, and then they get on a bus and they go out to several houses in different phases of construction. And we actually have people in those homes telling them about, just from the foundation all the way to the end of the project, and they get to see how many people work on these homes and hear from some of them, and see how they can actually have a great career in the industry.
That's awesome. And I think there just needs, I'm glad and grateful you guys are doing that because I feel like the skilled labor has been so pushed aside, like it's not valued, and that's 80% of the economy. I mean that there is so much opportunity for people getting into that. That's awesome. You guys are doing.
There's so much opportunity, and at this point in time, there are so many people willing to help the younger generation get into it. You don't always have to even go to school to learn these things. There's opportunities for on the job training right now, right out of high school, to get you in there and get you working in those specific field.
Yeah, because everybody I come across is that has anything to do with construction at all. It's like, do you know of anybody? If you find anybody, please send them my way.
Yeah.
And they're always trying. The trend now is like, I want somebody with no experience. That way, I can train them. They're more than willing to help, and there's a huge opportunity there. I just wish that a lot of the younger generation would kind of seize that opportunity, and not just go to the 4-year degree because there's so many different ways to be successful, and to me the biggest opportunity right now in the generation is really taking advantage of that. So, and
there's a huge misconception there that this is a male dominated industry, because we try to talk to these students and let them know that there are a lot of careers out there for women as well.
Yeah.
I've been at the association for going on 21 years now, and we've had I have a new president every year, and ever since I've been there, it's always been a man. Well, I actually have a female, a woman that's on our ladder now, and she's amazing. So I'm excited that I'm going to get to work with her soon. I mean, she's 28 years old and runs a huge company, so that's really cool to see.
That is, yeah.
Another thing on that same note, we support Tuskegee University. We have a student chapter there, and we support them when they go to the International Builder Show every year, and they do. They actually create a development, and they create floor plans, and they have amenities, and they talk about their development, that they
Oh, cool.
basically put on
Yeah.
paper. And we sent a group a couple of years ago. It was an all-female group.
Okay.
So that was pretty neat to see.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the exact opposite role in my industry. It's a female-dominated
Yeah.
industry, So that's cool. Is there any other things y'all are doing to kind of like bring just awareness to the opportunities that are there?
I mean, we're always
Yeah.
we're always working to just to bring awareness and as far as the association goes, and just careers in construction.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I'm assuming that most of the big time builders and things like that come to you for people too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Do you see a lot of that transition too from like the Tuskegee, like you said, you sponsor some things there. Do you see a lot of transition, people finding out and going into that career field from what you guys have done?
I think so. Well, I mean, with the Tuskegee group, they are in a 4-year college, so they're getting that 4-year degree. They know what they want to do. They have a pretty specific path there. So it's a little bit different with what we're doing there and what we're doing with high school students, just really trying to plant a seed with them and show them all the different opportunities that there are. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I had Michael on recently, and one of the things we were talking about was the Elmore County Technical Career Institute, and just that place is amazing.
Yeah.
And like for me, I was involved. I did small motors and there, but I wish there was more of a presence from these associations, and things like that. It's like showing the opportunity that was there. And also, I think it's important you touched on the financial opportunity, because a lot of people get hung up. That's what you're a kid. You want to be a rock star.
That's
you want
right.
to make a lot of money. You want to do all these things. And like, tell them like what you make, what you
have
do.
to.
Yeah.
I mean, you can sit there and talk to them all day long.
Yeah.
But until you tell them what they can have and what they can do, that's when their ears perk up. That's when they want to know more about it. But the thing that we try to tell these students is it's just work ethic. You've got to be the first one there, the last one to leave. Really work hard, and there's so many opportunities for you.
Yeah, that's what is lacking. That's what I've experienced in a lot of different ways. I got to the point where I don't even flip as many houses or do anything like that, because there's not enough workforce there. The ones that are good and reliable, well, they're on new construction. They don't want to mess around with my 1940 Craftsman. Like that's a pain in the butt to do, But just the younger that instant gratification mindset out there is just that needs to change. No one wants to put in any time.
I know, and you have to. And I think we all get caught up a little bit into instant gratification, but I mean, you really do have to take a step back.
Yeah, and it's fine watching TikTok videos and stuff like that. You get that little bit of instant gratification, or it's really nice that Amazon gets my package here in 2 to 3 days. I really appreciate that. But when it comes to careers and things that matter, like anything in life worth doing is worth overdoing, and also it takes time. That's just the kind of like a golden rule. At least my experience is short time on Earth, so there's just not enough talked about that, and I'd love to see just a little bit of change, because it doesn't. And I also think that, most of these people with that, the younger generation coming into it, they think it's going to take 20 years. They don't realize what they can accomplish in 3 to 4 years.
Right.
I mean, 3 to 4 years, you can run your own show. You can be one of the big time builders in the area. It's not that difficult, but they never make it past year one.
Exactly.
That's the issue.
We've had people speaking to the students on those field trips and tell them, that they started cleaning up job sites, just really doing the grunt work, and now they own the company. Yeah. So it's a good picture of, just start to finish what you can accomplish if you just have that drive. Just
a little bit. And speaking of drive, you seem to be a pretty driven individual, And so,
I feel like it.
Yeah. So you seem like you had your, kind of like it planned out from the very beginning. And so, like, have you always been like that?
I mean, I feel like I've always had that mindset. I don't know that I've always done a great job of planning out and executing, but I try.
Well, we are our own worst critic, right? I deal with that too. It's like, well, you could be doing better, Lyle.
Yeah.
But,
I always think I can be doing better.
Yeah, that's it.
But always room for improvement.
Does that go outside of the Home Builders Association? You into anything else? I know you'd mentioned running and things before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to run. I'm not the fastest runner, but it's I like distance running. It's challenging
Yeah.
and fun.
Yeah, because you were talking about earlier, you just did not an iron, what, a marathon? Like, what was that?
So yeah, I was
Yeah.
telling you that when I first started really getting into running, I would run a lot, and I met a lady in my neighborhood who just saw me run past her house every day, and she said, "Hey, do you think you could run a half?" And I was like, "Well, I never have, but I could try." And she said, "Well, I've got I'm a swimmer, and I've got a friend that rides." And we need a runner for our half Ironman team. And it was, like a couple of months from then. So I did that with them for 2 years. I was on an Ironman relay team. So that was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you you got any other hobbies?
Well, I'm learning a lot of new hobbies now that I've got three girls, and they're all out of the house right now. Two of them in college, one of them just graduated. So I'm finding a lot of new hobbies. I like gardening. I like plants, which if you would have asked me that 5 years ago, I'd have been like, "You're crazy." But I really like messing around with that. 'Cause I've just got so much time now that I haven't had in the past. So I'm finding a lot of new things to do.
We're kind of opposite on that. I'm starting all of that late in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, just got married, so thankful. When
But you'll see, it's just
Yeah.
hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
When you get married and you're starting a family, it's like you have no time. And now it's like, okay, I have this time. What am I going to do with it? So
Yeah.
I like to read.
Okay,
So,
that's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I just had to ask that. Didn't mean to get too off track. So, what else with the Home Builders Association? Are there any? I know I'd asked you earlier, but is there any things you guys that's staying relevant right now, as far as like that's one of your challenges? Anything with like the direct market? As far as challenges that you see builders are having right now. Because like what I'm seeing is that it seems to be that builders don't have a lot of ground to build on.
Right.
Like there's just not enough.
Yeah. I mean, there's you got the lot shortages.
Yeah.
They're facing so many challenges right now. So really, we just try to help them navigate some of those things. Try to help them with getting in speakers. Trying to help them work with their businesses and try to find ways to help them whatever their challenges may be. But I think some of the biggest benefits for our builders are just coming together and talking with other builders and, just bouncing ideas off each other and finding new ideas and ways to
I think
redirect.
collaboration fixes a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Like it really, really does. Because if you can have an open line of communication with someone else that's directly in the business or someone that has just like an affiliate of the business, even like you can see different perspectives, because as people,
Right.
as hard as we try to, we can only see one side of the quarter. I'm seeing heads, you're seeing tails. But if we can communicate and be like, no, I see this, well, we can probably work together and figure something
Right.
out. So.
And if you're dealing with a problem, there's somebody else that's faced that before. So just having that network of people that you can go to and talk to and work through some of those things is good to have.
Yeah. Do you guys meet often?
Yes.
Okay.
We meet a lot. So we usually have a general membership meeting once a month or so. And then we have different councils within the association. We have a professional women in building council. They're amazing.
That's awesome.
So they get together and it's kind of funny because we used to plan all their meetings and honestly, we weren't doing a very good job because people weren't coming and it just really wasn't going anywhere. So we kind of put that on them. We're like, hey, you guys just plan your own meetings. You tell us what you want to do. And they have been thriving. They raise.
How large is that group?
There's probably about 50 of them.
Wow. Okay.
But, active members, 30 to 40, but it's such a good group of people.
Yeah.
And I think it's small. It's good that they have a small group like that. And they get a lot done and they have a lot of fun. And they also raise money. We do a yearly scholarship, and they're kind of in charge of raising funds for those scholarships. So so we have that group. We have a remodelers council, so a small group of remodelers, and really anybody else who wants to be a part of that group. So smaller networking opportunities there too.
Okay, so you have groups within the group.
Right.
So like if I wanted to join, and I guess my niche would be flipping houses. I'd probably go to the remodeling side of things.
Yeah,
That's,
you would probably
that's
get a lot out of that.
Yeah.
So, and then we have, different sporting events, golf tournaments, bass tournaments. In April, we do a big event. It's probably the biggest event we have. We call it Music and Mud Bugs. We don't know how that's going to go this year with the price of crawfish.
Yeah,
but
everything's expensive.
I know.
Right now. Yeah.
But I think we had about 400 people that came to that last year. And it's just a fun night.
Where's it at?
At the train shed.
Oh, yeah.
Downtown Montgomery.
Yes. Yeah.
So we have a band and we do a drawdown. It's just a lot of fun.
I didn't go last year. I went the year before, and it's a blast.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. So, and it's just good seeing everybody in one spot.
It is.
So I noticed you mentioned scholarships. What other thing? Do you guys do any type of foundations or anything like that?
So we have the scholarship that we do locally. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but when you join the association, you're a member of our local association, state, and national. So our state association, they have a foundation, and they do amazing things. So we have car tags now.
Okay.
So I think we've done that for the past maybe 5-6 years. I'm somewhere around there. But all the proceeds from the car tags go to the foundation. We have a huge golf tournament, and they give money to tons of students around the state.
That's awesome.
For scholarship.
Yeah. And is there anything else as far as the different? I know you mentioned Cancer Association. Is that right? Yeah.
So I'm on the board of the Cancer Wellness Foundation.
Okay. Yeah, so that's separate. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
So my husband is actually a cancer survivor. And when he was taking treatments, I met the people from the Cancer Wellness Foundation. We just kind of got involved with a lot of their events. So our association works pretty closely with them to support them and the events that they have. So some of those things go hand in hand. It's a lot of fun working with that group.
Yeah, I imagine so. That's awesome. He's a survivor. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I want. I've got a lot of questions around that. You feel like diving in?
Sure.
Yeah. So what was that like? What was that like for you? Like being the wife through the process?
It was very tough. And his was it just came out of nowhere.
Really?
He was just having some pain here and there, and then we go to ER. They can't figure it out, and then they finally did a procedure, and I'm just reading a magazine thinking everything's okay, and they say, well, we're about to do exploratory surgery. He's got cancer. I don't know what's going to happen. So just my world just kind of turned upside down there for a minute. But
man, what helped you get through it the most? You think?
My faith, for sure. Yeah. And definitely your faith gets a lot stronger during times like that. So
I imagine so.
It definitely changed us.
Yeah.
But for the good, I mean, it's kind of weird. I think if you ask my husband, if he could go back and erase that time in his life, he definitely wouldn't, because we just grown so much because of it.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Didn't mean to get too off
that's
track.
Okay.
But yeah, but I love talking and hearing about or not, listening to stories like that, because that seems to be a common trend, is that a lot of people that I've talked to that have been through stuff like that have always said they've grown so much out of it. Their faith's only gotten stronger.
Yeah.
And that's just awesome to hear. It really is. So what other things are you involved in with the Home Builders Association? Because I know the Beauty by Fire, you mentioned that. I wanted to talk about that as well.
Yeah, so we met Brooke Freeman, who is the founder of Beauty by Fire, a couple of years ago. She's an amazing lady, amazing testimony. But she was a widowed woman, a very young age, and so she started this organization to help widows in the community. And she does that by just helping them do, she does a lot of things, but one of the things that she does is help them with home repairs and just things around the house that have become a problem, not having a husband there to help get those done. And it may not always be a financial thing. It may just be that, this person doesn't know who to call. They don't want to be taken advantage of. So she kind of helps them navigate those things. So we try to be a resource for them to help them find good people to come in there and do these jobs. And also, we have work days, and, we send people out to do skilled labor and get some of those jobs done.
That's
So that's
really,
been a lot of fun.
yeah, that's really neat. How big is the Beauty by Fire organization?
Well, I'm not exactly sure, but we did just help them with a Thanksgiving. They do Thanksgiving dinner for like tons of widows, and I
Okay.
think they may have had 100 people that
Wow.
they did the Thanksgiving dinners for. So there's a
NFL.
lot of them out there that she's helping, and
I imagine the association gets behind that a lot. Like, well, the members of the association get behind that a lot because, like, any opportunity, I try to any opportunity I have to give back. Like, it's just such a rewarding thing, you
yeah,
know. And it normally doesn't. A lot of people think it takes money, and it doesn't take money. Just a little
right.
bit of time, just showing up, and it changes such an impact. So,
It does. We've
yeah,
got one of our members, Chris Kimbrough. He was our president a couple of years back, but he got really involved and took on a project, a whole house remodel, and it was a lot of fun. But he really got behind that, and
yeah,
he worked hard to get that home ready,
yeah.
and just
And
he's just an amazing
And I
person.
think a lot of people would be shocked by just asking somebody because a lot of people aren't aware of these things, right? Like you just asking, hey, do you mind, a flooring guy, you mind giving some flooring? Like they say, yeah, every time. No
Yeah,
one's going to say no. Yeah,
exactly.
and most people have the means to give, but they aren't aware of it. Just got to ask. So
Right.
yeah, at least that's been my experience on a lot of things. So, but well, cool. Is there, with the home, where do you see the Home Builders Association going? I know you were talking about staying relevant. Is there any new things that you guys are working on?
Well, we're really working right now just to grow, just to
Yeah.
just to get out there, talk about what we're doing, talk about how we can help people and grow the association. I know that that we can be so much more than we are right now.
Yeah.
So that's one of our main focuses. We're great. Our retention is fantastic. I mean, we've
Yeah.
won a lot of national awards for the highest retention, which is really cool for a small association in Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah.
So we stay at about a 90 to 92% retention rate. So it seems like when we get people in, we can keep them, but we just, we'd love to grow.
Do
So
you
that's
think you think that people aren't coming in because there's not, like what we talked about earlier as far as like the skilled labor and things, there's just not enough people getting into the industry in general?
it definitely has an
Yeah,
impact.
yeah,
Yeah.
because just everybody I talk to is like 4 months out, 5 months out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had clients the other day that were, they're out of town and they just bought some land through me and they're like, what builders? And I named off some builders and recommended them. And, they called me back. They're like, all of them are a year out. And I was like, yeah, most of the good ones are,
Right.
I mean, most of them are. So,
Yeah, so that's interesting that you say that because you think for people that join the association, it is to grow their business. Well, that may not always be. It may be that it's just one guy in his truck and he's got enough work and he's got more work than he can take on. So really, why does he need to be a member of the association? Because he's got all the work he can handle right now.
yeah,
But what I would say to some of those people are, I mean, it's really important to me. I think it's important to give back to the association that's supporting your industry.
yeah,
Like I said, all the workforce development efforts that we have, those efforts are funded by the association with the money that we get from members. And also just fighting those regulations and
yeah.
just working through some of those things. I think it's just really important that you are a part of an association that's supporting your industry.
Yeah, and I think if nothing else, people within an industry need to get together and at least talk about things and share where we're going, what we're struggling with, and how we can all kind of move together.
Right.
And I know we've talked about it, so far, but collaboration, like it just goes so far, because if you guys are all working against each other and view it like that, well, if you come up with a problem,
Right.
you're still working. You're not gonna if you don't help each other get through it, nobody's gonna win. No one gets to build land because there's regulations against it.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's neat. So. Do you think that, I know you guys have done home expos and things like that. Are you bringing some of those things back or, since COVID's over?
Well, we're just doing things in a different way. So, we used to have the big home shows. We'd have 100 exhibitors coming in, setting up all these elaborate displays, and they'd be there for 3 days talking to the general public that comes out to the show. And, people, for one thing, companies they don't have the employees to go and send for 3 days to sit out there and talk to people. They don't want to spend the money on these huge displays. And then, so it's hard getting exhibitors. And then it's hard getting the general public to come out because so many people can just look on their phones and see the same stuff. So, we have to do some different things in those ways. So I don't think we'll ever bring back the full home show. And then like our parade of homes, I don't know that we'll ever get back to having huge events like the parade of homes used to be, but we're doing them in different ways. So we are going to have a parade this year. We'll have some scattered sites around, so you can go out to neighborhoods and still look at some of these houses. We do build what we call an ideal home every year. Okay. So that home is going to be in Woodland Creek this year, and this event will take place late summer.
What ideal home? Mm-hmm. What is that?
So we have a builder each year who builds the ideal home. This year it's going to be William Rhodes with Louder New Homes. Okay. So he's going to build the house, and we just try to put all the latest and greatest in new home technology, just so people can come out and see, the new design trends, everything that is trending, I guess. And it's also a way for our members to be a part of that event. So we ask for our members for, we hope that we can get some donations, but we also want our members to just be able to be a part of it so that they can come out there during that Parade of Homes time and they can be there and talk to people that come in about their product specifically that's in that house.
Yeah, because I would think if I was like a company owner and I had something like even security, I'd want to put my security system in there. I was an HVAC guy. I'd have the baddest HVAC unit known to man in that house. Let's show off what I can do. Flooring, cabinets. Think about all the things. There's all kinds of new roofing products out there now I know of. That's neat though. So it's going to be in Woodland Creek though. Mm-hmm. And who'd you say the builder was?
William Rhodes.
William Rhodes with Louder.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
And he'll do a great job.
Oh, yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Is there any, Parade of Homes? Why do you think the Parade of Homes won't come back?
Well, I'm not saying that it won't come back. It's just going to be different. Yeah. When times were great, we would have what we called a central site. We'd have 5 homes right there beside each other. You could come in and you could see the work from 5 different builders right there. And, kind of if you're looking to build a new home, that's a great opportunity for you to pick a new builder. You can kind of see the different styles there and talk to people and get an idea of who you want to work with. Yeah. Just some of the same challenges that you and I have already talked about, just lot shortages. So there's not a whole lot of places for these people to build these homes. The lot prices, it's tough for a builder to put that much money into a home specifically for that event. Yeah. So.
And I think a lot of people are even in my industry in real estate sales, people want videos and it's not a whole, there is in person. Of course, they want to come to the house that they're buying, but to attract them, it's all through the internet.
Right.
That's what I'm seeing, just a ton of social media, just trying to go where they're at. They spend all their time on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Yeah. Well, guess I got to go there. Who would have thought that I'm going to be making TikTok videos, but here we are. Yeah. So.
But I certainly don't want to make it seem like we're going to have this watered down parade of homes. No. It's just different. There's, where there may have been 60 homes in the parade, years ago, we may have 30, but there's still going to be a lot of good homes out there.
Not even that, just the economy where it's at right now. Things are expensive. It's very, very difficult to put on all these products, even borrowing money. It's expensive to borrow money to build all these things. So I can definitely see that. So, well, I look forward to that because I think it's important to get the people into the products, because that's what I'd spend a lot of time trying to attract people to the houses I'm selling through social media and things like that. But nothing replaces the moment when they walk through that door. When they can touch it, they can feel it. Because you can try to say how great these tall ceilings are and this trim and this fireplace and what it feels like, but they don't experience it until they're there. And I think
Right.
that really is that has to be there. I don't think you can get away from that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's cool. So, well, I've got 4 questions to ask you before we jump off that I ask everybody on here.
Okay.
You said you like to read, so what's your favorite book?
Definitely The Bait of Satan by John Bevere. It's a fantastic book.
What is that? I've never heard of that. What's it about?
So it is about not having a spirit of offense. It's about
Spirit of offense?
yes.
Okay.
So I can try to explain that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, we live in an offended world. I mean, a lot of people get offended very easily. And it just talks about the danger in being offended and really just helping you through. So for me specifically, I'm the I guess the one of the faces of the association. I'm dealing with a lot of people. Everybody's not always going to like me, and you have to so this book's really helped me to kind of navigate some of that. But, just people may wrong you, people may hurt you, and this book's it really helps you to kind of get through that. Or you may feel like you're that someone's offended you, but they actually haven't.
Yeah.
So just kind of taking a step back from that, showing forgiveness, and I mean, it's really helped me
I'm gonna
kind
pick
of
that
roll
one
some
up.
things off my back and not really, not get angry about things.
Yeah.
So
What was the name of the book
The
again?
Bait of Satan,
The Bait of Satan. Who was it by?
John Bevere.
John Bevere.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to remember that.
I don't feel like I did that review justice, but it's a great book.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to pick it up. You
Okay.
intrigued me, so you got one person hooked on it. So, if you could have dinner with anyone, past, present, or future, who would it be?
Oh gosh. Honestly, probably Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
He's just an interesting person. I've always loved him. I feel like he could be somebody that you could sit down and pick his brain and get a lot of good information, but also all the people that he's talked to.
Yeah.
I mean, you could talk to Joe Rogan all day and never run out of things to say.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I think what makes him so unique at what he does is he enters everything like he truly wants to know, right? Like he doesn't come with it from an opinion base. He just like, what do you have to say? And let's talk about it. I really, really dig that. I think that's why he's been so successful on his podcast. Well, he's done a lot of different things though. So
Yeah.
that's neat though. Okay. What's your favorite food?
That's tough because I wake up in the morning thinking about what my next meal is going to be all day long.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just depends on the day. I might be sushi.
Okay.
I love sushi.
We'll go.
Probably homemade lasagna would be my.
Okay. All right.
That's
I
my
dig
top
it.
dish.
Yeah. If
So.
you like sushi, honeymoon was in Kauai. Like I would, it was fantastic. The views were great. Like the place is awesome, but I will go back strictly for the food.
Yeah.
Like it was unreal. Like just the poke bowls and the sushi. It was amazing. So that's
Okay.
awesome. So we got how you did it, but what is your why? And then how has it changed throughout the years?
Yeah, I definitely think that it has changed, but my children are everything, and I want to show them that you can do what you set your mind to do.
Yeah.
And so I want to make them proud, and I want to be a good role model for them. But also just as far as the association goes, I want to do a good job, and I want to be a resource for my members,
Yeah.
and I want to help them to be able to grow their business because I believe in it so much, and I want to do a good job for them so that they can grow.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think you've seen all the success from all these other members, and you just want to share that with new people coming in. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a pretty good why.
And I'm very fortunate to have the coworkers that I have. I definitely feel like a lot of my success is our success. I mean, we work closely together. I wouldn't be where I am today without them. They're fantastic.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate having you on.
Yeah.
It was great talking.
Thanks a
and,
lot.
Yeah, we'll have to do this again soon, especially when the ideal home comes out.
Yeah,
We'll talk
for sure.
about that. Thanks so much.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.